And we're
coming
live.
to take me away.
It's
They're coming to take me
alive.
away.
Okay.
Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
There's a secret sound headed deep within the center of the earth. Until you listen closely enough, you can hear it. And it sounds like razors through flesh. We are merely here to turn up the volume.
Hello, 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 and welcome to our corner of the Freak Show. This is Chainer's Haunted Secrets. And today I am really glad that Raz is here. And
Hello.
I got Ron. And our special guest is Wendy with Wicked FX.
Hello.
Yay, Wendy.
And first of all, I just got to say, I have never known you to take a break on anything, even when we're sitting down and trying to have a nice dinner together. You're always constantly working on something. And the people that have seen me on other shows, Wicked FX is the birthplace of Monty the Mothman. So
We all love Monty.
We do. And I still have one of the mini Monties that did not fly away.
Those are my favorite.
So
He was hugging today.
today we're going to talk about everything that is Wicked FX, and I know that you are pretty tired from your day, and you know it's not just one day. It has been a couple of days. If I can say, Chainer's Field of Screams is nice enough to let you guys use the trailer every single time, and we are so happy to do that for you guys because you guys all have some great stuff, and it makes my Google go up.
Giggity.
So, first of all, Wendy, before we get into too much, where are you at?
I am in Owensboro, Kentucky at Fear Expo. We had our first day today, the VIP day, and we'll be vending all day tomorrow.
All right. So how long does that go till?
That goes till Sunday at 2. So we had set up yesterday and this morning a little bit, and then all day Saturday and half the day Sunday.
All right. So you're going to be the one with the ice creams that look like they're going to kill you, right?
Yes. They can eat you. You have to eat them before they eat you.
So before we kick around and get to know everything about what you got cooking on and everything, what got you into the haunted industry, and where are you at in the haunt industry right now?
Oh, goodness. I started at a very young age with my uncle, who was he worked for one of the Jaycees houses in Hamilton, Ohio, called Haunted House on the Hill. And I went with him, begging to go, kicking and screaming, though, because I got scared. And he worked there and got me into it, and volunteered at the Haunted House in the Woods, a couple others, and always had the big haunted house parties. And I've worked for St. Rita's. I've worked for US Nightmare. I've worked for Dent. I was at Scaratorium. I loved being up there. And right now I am at Brimstone Haunted House in Waynesville, Ohio, and I'm managing the makeup department and helping with the props and some of the theming of the rooms.
Wow. So what you're saying is you're not a spring chicken to this.
No, been around.
She wasn't even a spring chicken when I met her.
Oh dear.
Hey, who invited you?
So if you guys can't tell, we know Wendy very well. Wendy is someone that absolutely amazes us what she works on, and it's not just the 3D printing, it's not just the painting, it's not just this and that. It is her whole wonderful positive attitude that when you go to see her will catch you over, guaranteed. But the rest of the stuff is awesome too to look at, but it's just her wonderful attitude towards a lot of things, and we are so grateful that we are friends with you, and we can't get enough of you and your husband, which is not here right now, or your fiance, or whatever he is. I thought he was your husband for the longest time, by the way.
Still fiance. We're working on it. We have been engaged for a bit. We should just. It's expensive.
You know, I happen to know a guy who's a pretty awesome Beetlejuice cosplayer that's licensed to marry people.
Oh,
so if you ever need his services, you know. Just,
oh, we should do this at MHC.
That'd be fun.
Oh gosh.
I've married 2 people so far. Actually, it was the whole shtick we were doing the first time we did the Valentine's Day. I'd been at the haunt, and I was doing Beetlejuice, and me and Fred were like, "Hey, you know, Res should get ordained to be a priest, and he didn't, and like do it as Beetlejuice, and he didn't think I would do it." And that night, I went home and did it. And for years now, we actually offer weddings there with Beetlejuice officiating.
That's great.
But so I noticed that there is a person in the background, and as I have met you before, I'm going to go ahead and just say, hey, would you like to introduce your friend in the back there, Wendy? That way we don't keep on saying, hey, that person in the back.
This is Jeannie. Jeannie did makeup with me at Brimstone. Basically couldn't have done that without her. But she is now at Twisted Trails, heading that makeup department, branching off on her own. And we do makeup contracts for the military together and hang out. And she's face painting at the booth this weekend. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. She's just a lot of fun to have around. So, and she helps me with my props. And so I always try to take my friends along with my journey if I can.
Hell yeah.
You know, you do make a great team together. And you know what? I've been tongue-tied all day in everything I've said. So I apologize because someone's going to say, well, you said that absolutely wrong. Oh, yes, I did.
Way to go, Kyle.
I know. I'm going to mess things up.
We all know what
I
Ron's
did
thinking right now, though. As soon as I can find the button because I forget where it is. Oh, yeah. This is what Ron is currently thinking right now. That's his favorite sound on the board. So I have
Awkward.
So I want you right now. Is there anything that you want to bring up before we start asking a whole bunch of questions? Because I have a whole bunch of questions and I know the answers on some of these just because you've been such a great friend to me.
I don't know. Fire away with your questions.
So it's not just makeup and it's not just 3D printing. What else do you make?
Oh, we do a lot of things to help make your costuming, like costume accessories. I do a lot of prosthetics, not just makeup, but I do those to prosthetic. I do silicone prosthetics. I can do some commission work too for those if you have it in mind. All kinds of props for your haunted house, just kind of your finishing touches to add to your scenes. A lot of carnival stuff right now, ice creams. We're going to be adding things as we get along. Whereas I have like 4,000 ideas in the time to make 2 of them. So the stuff coming.
So I know that you go to conventions and you go to trade shows and this and that, but where is one place that you have absolutely start showing your face every single weekend, except for this weekend, mind you? And I would have helped you out if it would have been open.
Traders World. We have a booth up at Traders World in Building 11 that we had take a lot of our 3D printing, and we do a lot of our pickup. People can pick up their orders that are local from there and come and talk to us on the weekends about some commission work and things like that. So it's great. I love Traders World. It's a lot of fun.
And I'm just amazed because I know that you have a website, and if somebody orders it, they can get it shipped to them, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We ship anywhere.
Because that's a big thing. And you know what? I love your pumpkins, and I love your keychains. And Chainers Field of Screams purchased 300 keychains last year, and I think I'm down to 20.
Oh wow, that's awesome!
So I need to make another order. Just I think I know how to get a hold of you.
Yeah.
But other than that, what's something with your business that you want to see and you want to show off and you want to tell people that you guys have that other people might not be seeing or might not know?
Along with product, I love my barrel topper line that we just kind of started. We plan on having lots of different ones to make them interchangeable. So us hunters, we all have barrels. They're cheap. They're great. They make great barriers. We're developing them so you can change them from different scenes. If you want to do a Christmas walk, I'm going to be doing some Christmas themed ones, and I'll try to get all the holidays. But what we're going to be doing is starting to embed magnets in them. So you can just pop them on the barrel, and then you can take them off and you can store them. So they'll be easy storage, because we know we never have enough storage for all of our stuff. But that way they can interchange and you can use different theming and things like that. Or you can place them other places too. The nice thing about my business and our company is you can tell me, okay, well, I have this area I want to put it, and I can custom make it right then and there without having to do another mold, because it's in the computer. I can print it to any size or any color that you want without a lot of hassle or any extra charge. You just tell me what size you want and I can print it up.
Okay. So how does it go from someone giving you an idea to the groundwork of you coming and making something?
There's a lot of back and forth there. I would do some sketches and some pictures, and once we decide on a look, then a model is created. And before anything is finalized, it can create it a few times. And if you want to do something like that, or if something's existing already, we go back and forth about what color do you want, what size do you want, and then it's put into the computer. And Matt, my fiance, does the slicing and puts it into the printer and helps me with all of that part. He's the printer. I help with the designs, and then I do most of the painting myself.
Okay. So the ice creams that are in front of you,
yes,
are those all made on the computer from scratch, or?
No, these actually were, I just got blood on me. Of course, it always happens. These were sculpted in clay on top of a ice cream cone. And then we scan them with our wonderful scanner that we have, and then I put them in like that, because I've always been a sculptor and learning the computer and how to make that. So scanned, put into the computer, mess with that a little bit, and then actually put it into the printer. So they were actually scanned first.
Okay, so you do your sculpting, and then you can scan it, and then it goes into the machine, and then you can get it printed, right?
Yep, and then we can print, and we can make that any size. We can shrink it down to that big. It can be, pretty big. We have 2 printers now, the size of half a coffee table.
Nice.
Okay. I did not know you had half of a coffee table printer yet.
No, sorry.
But that's probably how you made the giant dragons.
Yes.
Now I'm figuring it out.
Yeah, we actually have 2 of those now. We had to put them out in the garage. So we are currently looking for a place to open up a shop area. We don't need the on-site retail, but we're trying to find a bigger area to put everything because we're up to 25 printers now.
So what's the capability of the scanner?
Really, I mean, you can scan just about anything. We did a life-size scan. You can do it a person if they can hold still. So we can take your characters from your haunt and scan them in their costume and turn them into keychains or into busts or just about anything that you want. We've scanned nature products. We scanned a beehive or a hornet's nest that we're going to be printing out, and I'm going to be making those to color speakers and things like that, so you can put them on the walls. The scan's pretty cool. You can take it. You can be mobile. I want to go start scanning some tombstones and be able to print those out. I'd like to try to start a little channel where we do a scan of the month, where we go out, we scan something, get it all done, and then show the finished product where we've actually printed it. And just take requests of what they want scanned. We're going to go hunting for some mushrooms to be doing some mushroom scans.
That's awesome, man.
So I have seen the pumpkin that you did, and I have seen the original pumpkin, and this pumpkin's got little bumps on it, and it's amazing because you guys can actually hold and compare, and you can turn that, and you can figure out exactly what size or what side you're looking at on this pumpkin versus one to the other. If there is 3 bumps, boom, 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 you can match it up on the original.
Yep.
So I want to point out something, because when I was over at your house / business / creation lab, whatever Matt wants to call it, and call it that 5 seconds, you were actually making little monsters. And you actually had to put little dots on this just so it would register and be able to see it correctly. And the detail that comes out of that system is absolutely amazing. And that's absolutely one of the reasons I said, you know what, we have to have them come on the show. I've never seen anybody do it. I'm sure there's other people that are, but I have never seen it. And one of the greatest things is that you guys make what kind of gloves?
The claws, the crazy claws that we have is
I don't have them here.
yeah. We can size those to anyone's hands, or they're pretty cool. Yeah, they're all at the booth. I wish we had brought some with us, but yeah, we're in the hotel room, so I have nothing to show other than my little guys I'm painting up for tomorrow.
Well, let me just say these gloves, and she pointed out that these gloves get sized, and they actually will size you to make sure that you get a proper fit. It's not a one size fits all type of product. It is if you want it sized, they will size it. That way it matches your fingers. Your finger goes up, the claw goes up, and it makes it so much nicer that you can actually use these gloves, and it's a smooth fit. That way you have a smooth movement. And I am so happy that we get to have such a wonderful there's my brain. It just shut off. I just went down the street. I swear that we have such a wonderful friendship and a wonderful business agreement that me and you can talk. We can look at stuff. This company, this vendor is actually a small vendor, but has some big ideas. And it's not just one of those things that you look at it and you say, oh, well, you know, it's just like everybody else. I mean, the detail that they put into things, like I can see the eyeballs on top. They have some ice cream that has little cherries that are skulls. The details that you put in things is what matters. So anybody else got any questions? Because I'm just absolutely just laying this straight out.
No, honestly, like you got this covered nice, and that's the benefit of you knowing them so well. You know, like you know what people are going to want to learn about, because you know the things that really interested you when you were getting to know them. So this is actually it's beneficial for us to let you lead it like completely, man.
I have some questions.
Okay. Number 1, how to scratch a cat's head.
Questions from Dr. Claw over here.
Yeah, right. She's killing me over here. Explain to me a little bit more about the 3D printing process, because I am very unfamiliar with it. You said that you can scan something into the computer, and then I guess the computer figures out all the dimensions, but then how does it get from the computer to the printer? I've only seen 3D printers like on TV or in videos. I've never actually seen one in person, so I don't really understand the process of how it works.
Well, most of it, when you scan it, it creates a mesh, which is to actually print it. It takes that mesh, which is little boxes, triangles, all built on top of each other, because everything really is a flat surface, even though it'll look curved. And it takes that and puts it in the computer, and then use a slicer program that takes that. It's a different program. There's all kinds of there's Clipper, there's Orca, there's tons of them you can use. And you use your computer, and that sets it up, and then it sends it either to your printer, and then it basically gives that the instructions on where to put all the plastic as that comes out. Matt can explain that more. He's the printer when he rolls in here, and he's always late. But it's really neat. It's just a really cool process. And I think when you're designing it, you have to worry just about, like, I don't know if you sculpt, but you have to worry about some overhangs, because if you have overhangs, you have to build supports too, so that's more product. So we try to make our stuff with as little overhang or supports as possible to minimize the waste, and then it just looks better when you don't have those. So you have to be conscious as you're building it too. Okay, so scanning, is that the only way to get it into the computer in order to print it? Are there other ways to do it? To create it and basically draw it on the computer. There is Blender, which is a free open source that anyone can use, and you can use it on your computer. And I have a drawing tablet, and a lot of those I actually do in Blender, and I'll draw them out, and you create a 3D image as you're drawing it. So you're basically sculpting it on the computer without any clay. You can use ZBrush. I have ZBrush as well. I use that. And there's some other programs called Nomad for like Apple users. I don't have that yet, but I'm interested to try that one. So you sculpt that, or you draw that, which is, they call it sculpting on there, and then you take that and you put that in the computer, and then it turns it into and it slices it up, and you can print it like that. So basically the same way they would be doing a 3D image for a video game, then they're just telling the computer how to print that. So you said you've got 2 printers that are basically half a coffee table size. What if you want to print something that is larger than the printer? We cut it in pieces. There's some slicers that do that, and they'll tell you. You put it in your program what printer you have, and it knows the space that's your bed that you can print on, how wide and how high you can go, and it'll slice it up for you and make each one of those slices a 3D model. And then you print each one of those, and it shows you how to glue them together, and then you glue them together and you seal the seams. Okay, so you don't have to figure out the mechanical engineering aspect of how they're all going to fit together. The computer does that for you? Yes, it does. Yep. Huh. That's very cool. Oh. So you could make like an actual 6-foot life-size Monty. Yep. Oh my gosh. Yes, we can. I can only imagine the plastic on that. If you could go to West Virginia and scan the actual Mothman statue and yeah.
We've already talked about that.
I'm actually going down there May 4th, the final boss con. I'm going to be there on the 4th. And then on the 5th, I'm going to like drive the 15 to 20 minutes away because I'm going to stay overnight just to go hang out, because I've never actually been there. I've lived not that far away from there my whole life, and it's always been on my bucket list. And I'm like, I'm going to be at a convention like 15 minutes away. I'm just going to stay overnight so I can like spend the day there the next day. What? So, he's here. Look who's here. What am I doing? Yeah. What is the program that we use to do the slice up the really big sculpture? Like we wanted to do something that was really big. What's the one that you use to slice up? And there's a Facebook page. Oh, Luban. That's the Luban. That's Luban. There's a Facebook page called Luban that they have people ask questions, and it shows you too how to different things that you can do, because you can use that to do all kinds of really cool things. Even turn a picture into a 3D model.
So what's the scanner look like? Is it just like a camera? Is it a cage, or how does that work?
It's
What is
a
that?
camera and a couple sensors.
Basically, just take a billion little pictures of it and then turns that into it knows how to. The computer has a really cool computer program with it that does that. Turns it into it.
What's the most complicated thing you've made with the printer so far?
Was complicated.
Probably the big toppers.
Yeah, the big barrel toppers. Even though it's
Yeah.
only 3 pieces, still assembling it and making it look good is hard.
Yeah, the barrel toppers I think are the biggest and the most complicated so far.
Nice.
So you said you've got 25 printers in total. Pyle said that he ordered 300 of those little keychains. Now, depending on size, how long does it take to print out an order of that size?
Of that size, I batch them out in batches of 10, so about 3-4 days.
Wow, that's actually really quick, man. I mean,
So,
for an order of that size, yeah.
You've
Yeah,
got
this
to
is what this
factor that
looks
time into your order.
So the scanner looks like
Okay.
Oh, cool.
just a little handheld
that's
thing in your hand.
I had no
Yep.
idea. Huh.
Yep.
Wow.
And portable. You take it.
It's
Please.
very portable. What's that?
It looks just like a TV remote.
Yep.
That's what it looks
I had no idea.
That is so cool, man.
So
You were
you've got to
asking-
figure all of that time into the order, like how long it's going to take to print out however many items it is, and then however much time it's going to take to put all that in together. How long, I mean, does it take to figure all that stuff out?
I spent a lot of time figuring it out. Probably a couple of years since I've been doing the printing, and I pick stuff up as you go along. It really helps when you build printers from scratch too. It may sound like, hey, why? But you really learn how it works and how to fix stuff when it breaks, because it does break quite often.
Yeah.
At any point, about 10 to 50% of our printers are down, either waiting on a part or something broke. I can figure out what's wrong, that kind of thing. It's not always just print, hit the button and walk away.
Right.
So it's not, well, I mean, it's not like you can go buy a ream of paper and, to fill your printer. This is a specific type of material. What does it come in? Like, is it just sheets of, I don't know what it is.
Basically, you would look. It's long strands of plastic. So
Okay.
So it's PLA, which is polylactic.
Lactic acid.
Polylactic acid.
The bioplastic.
There's all different ones, but it looks like weed eater stuff that what you put in. That's about how big it is and what it looks like.
Okay.
And but they're big spools, about that thick and about like that, and you put them on top of there, and it just unwinds it as it's going.
They're kilogram or 2.2 pounds. Well, at least normally they are, and about 330 meters long if you split the whole thing out. Actually, it's kind of funny you say that. Some of the earliest 3D printers used weed eater trimmer string as filament, because I didn't know this, but it's the right size and it's nylon. So you can 3D print nylon. So yeah, it's kind of like imagine a big huge spool of weed eater like line filament.
That's awesome.
In some 3D printers, not the one that Matt has, but one that Matt might have in the future, can actually start printing chocolate now. You can 3D print chocolate.
You can.
That's when you have to assemble yourself. But yes, it takes imagine a chalk. It's like thinking chalk, but it's bigger and it's all chocolate. And it melts it down and you can print anything in chocolate.
That is amazing, man.
So Wendy, I
actually
know
have some-
that.
We have some pictures of the scanning process I want to bring up real quick, because we were
Cool, I
talking a
wanna
lot
see
about
those.
that. And Pal just sent them over to me so I can put them up here. And we're not wanting to work. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Here's one. All right. You want to explain what's going on here?
So that is the end result of the scan. So what you're seeing is a textured model. So the model below it, and that's the texture. So at the bottom part of that on that unit was a camera, and it correlates what its camera seeing, and it puts the texture on the model.
Basically paints it for you on top of like the mesh that you would have underneath. So that way, if you want to use it for a video game or something like that, it can be turned into something you can actually animate. What we need is for printing. What we use is the underneath part. That just looks cool, but the mesh underneath. Yep, that's what we use. So that's what it would look like in a solid form when we print it out.
Okay. And then what are we looking at here? I'm not sure what this is.
That is the texture that has been stripped off. So that is a texture file that gets reassembled onto the model.
Oh, that's so cool. And then, of course, this is the actual scanning of the.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's part of this. So me holding the scanner and scanning him standing in our living room.
That is awesome, dude. Like, I mean, think about that. It goes like from that to and you've got all these kind of the whole process right here. That's so neat, man.
Well, that camera is so small. I mean, how do you make sure that you get like every single little bit in there and don't miss any spots, or does it just kind of fill in?
While you're
Raz,
scanning,
if you bring up that green picture,
The what?
bring that green. Yep.
yeah,
At the bottom of his foot right there. That's how it looks. And if there is a spot he missed, that is what it looks like. That little black spot.
Okay.
It didn't
Bottom
scan
left.
right there, and
Yeah.
it doesn't see it, so it turns black.
something
So
that
do you
small,
go back and scan it and
yeah.
fill it in, or how does that work?
You can, yeah. So I can go back and edit the scan and rescan that section missing. For something that's small, I didn't bother. Because software will do its thing and fill it in for you. It looks like, hey, this looks like this shape, and it'll fill it in and make it solid.
Okay.
I think that was part of his boot was black and hard. Black stuff's hard to scan when it's flat, like a flat black. It doesn't reflect much. Why that part of the boot didn't pick up. But the software fills it in for you.
That's amazing. So, Wendy, you were already in business making props and doing sculpting and things like that before the 3D printer. How did all that history come about? How did all that come about with adding that into your business?
Well, Max always wanted a 3D printer, and once they started kind of putting them out on the market, he bought one, and I went away, and I came back, and we had 3, and I said, "Oh." And I realized what we could do with it, because I had always wanted to learn 3D modeling. I tried it when I was a lot younger, and I threw it out the window because it was it's very difficult. But so I thought, well, we're gonna have printers, we might as well start making some money with them and making some cool stuff. And I started making stuff for the haunt that I work at, and I was like, well, this is pretty cool. And I'd always wanted to really expand my business beyond what I was making, and really start the business for real, and kind of get out of being a paramedic and kind of out of civil service area, and just kind of went from there, and we kept buying bigger and faster and more complicated printers because I wanted to do more stuff and all these ideas, and he makes them work.
Now we got 25, and when more coming.
Oh Lord! Oh no!
Oh boy, you're gonna need a warehouse.
Yes,
That's
we
the plan.
really do. We really do.
So, I'm going to ask a question here. What different types of colors do you have for keychains? Because I know the different colors that my ghosts have come, and I know what you've done with the ghost to put our marking in the back of the ghost. So,
The last I looked, we have 3 cabinets downstairs in the basement, all full of filament. At my last count, we have 350 spools of filament, all different colors and types. So we have a pretty big library of stuff that's needed, because when you're doing multi-color prints, you have to, of course, choose a color you're looking for, at least close to the shade you're looking for. So we need a huge variety, because nothing sucks and say, hey, I had this project to do. It's like, okay, I need this shade of blue and this shade of blue, but you're missing it. You have to wait for it to arrive. So we have quite the huge library of filament.
And it's a lot of pretty stuff too.
That's true too. Yeah, don't go to Amazon and search PLA filament, because you'll find a bunch of stuff you want to buy.
Yeah.
That's what she does.
That's where our profit goes, to buy more filament. And then we can make our own filament and create custom colors. I'm working on that.
So I have a special marking that goes with everything that deals with chainers, and it is actually the smile. It's the smiley that is right here. It's on the microphone. You see it on my shirt. Half of the stuff that's in the background has my smiley on it. I want this smiley to be in keychains. When I met Wendy and Matt last year, I looked at him. I said, "This is what I have, and this is what I want. Can you make it happen?" And your answer, yeah. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but yeah, I can do that.
I just think we sat.
We
If you're
are.
MHC, I think we sat down and designed it right there on the show floor.
We did.
Remember?
We absolutely designed it. We looked at it. There was a couple of test models. I like this. I don't like this. This is where I want it. What about in the center? No, I think in the back of the head would be perfect. And this is truly one of those companies you look at and you go, it's small enough. It's big enough to do amazing things, but it's small enough to care and listen. And that is one of the best things that as this company has grown in the last year that I have seen it grow, it is absolutely just kept on that rolling the rock and figuring out how you guys can make yourselves bigger over and over and over. So the one thing I will ask is there is, you talked about 3D printing pictures.
Yeah.
Would you like to go into that a little more? Because trust me, I've seen them, but I don't have any photos of them.
I don't think any photos was available either. But basically, what it does is imagine like a color photograph. It has hues starting like the color wheel. Imagine the color wheel. So all different hues in the rainbow. And what it does is it starts at black and works its way up to white. Colors alternate back and forth. It blends it together to make a 3D version of your picture that's fully 3D printed. It's not painted. It's not anything. So let's say you want to do Santa Claus, for example. It'll start with black, and it'll go to blue, and then red, and then a light pink, and then white. And it blends all those colors together, one layer after another, to make your picture. It's a really cool process. It's called UForge. It's a new software too. We were at the convention it was debuted at last year in Goshen, Indiana, and it's not even a year now. It's been 7-8 months, and we do a lot of UForges now. It is such a great software. It takes a lot to play around with because you have to know color theory, and then I knew nothing about color theory before, and now I do because I spent a lot of time messing with the software to make everything look good. It's
Right.
It's really, you can make a beautiful piece of art out of it. And people's like, I can't believe this came off a 3D printer. It's fantastic. I wish I had something I could show you. Show what it looks like. It's unmatched. Let's go UForge.
Oh,
I got an army of skulls to paint.
So Wendy, you said you have 4,000 ideas and only time to do 2 of them. What are some of your big ideas? What are some of the things that you would like to do now that you have all this expanded capability? What's on your bucket list, your dream
I
list?
want to go bigger, and with my printing, one of my things that I want to do is I sculpted out and do them in latex. These vines and mushrooms that I do for walls and for scenery. I want to scan all of those. And there's a product called TPU, which is a flexible filament. I want to print them in this flexible filament, and it's very durable. Because when you put a latex product on a wall, especially if you have an outdoor haunt, maybe 2 years, and it's crumbly if you don't do a lot of extra steps. Even though you do, you maybe get 4 years out of it, it crumbles and it just falls away. Well, the TPU you could put up there, and that's not going to happen. It's going to be there for a while, and it's flexible and tough and tear resistant, impact resistant. And I also want to make some props for the people who are doing some of the paintball stuff that you can make, because it's got some flex to it, so it's not going to break. They're going to bounce off, and you can wipe them off. So that would be great for that. But I want to get those done and hopefully have those. And I have these wonderful icicle models that I want to do out of a translucent filament I want to do a bunch of stuff for my Wicked Winter line that I want to be putting out. But they can be, we're going to embed connectors in the bottom of them, so they can just be they should be twisted into place for if you want to do a winter haunt, and then they can be twisted off with a little thing you would screw into the ceiling and then take out, so that you can put them up and you can store them, and I make them light up too if I can.
The TPU is that the same kind of stuff that I've seen them make, like the Iron Man costumes for cosplay and all that? Is that the same type of material?
I don't know.
Cosplay is usually PLA. TPU is something.
Yeah, it's PLA.
If you're doing custom RC cars, tires out of that, because it's like imagine rubber, but not quite rubber. It's like a plasticized rubber. It makes sense.
Okay.
It's incredibly. It's like it's so tough, really. And the only drawback to it really is that it is harder to print because it's so flexible, so you can't really push it as hard. So it's slow, like really slow. If you print on a glass bed, it will tear chunks on your glass plate. It sticks so well, and it's so tough. Yeah, if I give you a block of TP and say, "Hey, tear this in half," you won't tear it in half. It's impossible. It is such a tough filament. It's insane because it gives a lot, and it gives a lot, and then keeps its shape if you let go. Kind of like a rubber band. It's a really cool material. Underutilized, it's hard to print.
I actually have a question. So, like, we saw the scans. We were showing them earlier. Could you turn that into a costume, like a suit someone could wear?
Yeah, sure can.
Sure can.
Say, for example,
I know where you're going with this, Raz. I bet I know where you're going with this.
See, I needed a suit that was like 6'3", 6'4", and looked like our owl logo. You guys could turn that into a whole suit someone could wear, say for a movie.
Yeah, it can definitely be done.
It's bewildering, isn't it?
I like that horror movie. Was that what you on the back burner?
Yeah, the horror comedy.
So my entire screen froze for a second, and I was like, okay. And then I walked into like a whole owl suit, and I was like, oh, I know where he came from on that.
Well, I mean, after I get back from that convention in April, we start production meetings and discussions to actually start filming this damn movie and writing the movie for that matter. So, yeah, we got to talk to people. You know, we have to get things lined up.
Oh yeah, and trust me, I'm excited about it. I could not be more excited about everything with the Owl Light network and everything that is moving around. And this show is just absolutely amazing because I can have wonderful friends that are doing wonderful things right at the moment. And you know what? You just gotta watch it, Matt. She flicks that brush the wrong way. You're gonna be having a red dot right on your head, man. But no,
oh, there's it's great.
Yeah.
So
we've all been to MHC. We know what those rooms look like afterwards.
Oh God, yeah.
So I had somebody in the comments that said that they love the keychains. They've got a whole bunch of them. And when I say a whole bunch of them, I know exactly this person, and this person has bought them and bought them and bought them. And she actually buys them for other people to reimburse her for. And everybody can't wait to see the new colors or the new ideas that come out with them. The ones that we got towards the end were didn't get enough time to play with the haunt, but I know that we're going to bring the ghost back to our haunt. And I've had nothing but so many people just saying how great it is that our logo can go in the back of them.
It's so cool, man.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things about 3D print people don't think about. It's customizable too. It's not like injection where you pay $10,000 for a mold and you have to use it that way forever. With 3D printing, they say we sell the ghost as is. We always have for a couple years now. And then you want to put the logo in the back? Yeah, sure, no problem. I don't have to remold it or anything. Well, she doesn't have to remold anything. It's just, hey, let's put in the software, make the change, print it out. It's very customizable. Like, for example, the thing she's painting right now, the ice cream she's painting right now, we offer them in chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. But let's say someone wanted it in blueberry. Sure, no problem. So the customizability is a huge factor as well, because we can make it exactly the way the person wants it.
Yeah, there was the first round of ghosts. The first rounds of ghosts that came to us, they sold so quickly that when we start going in, we made a request of pink ones and purple ones. And the pink ones and the purple ones, we put ribbons in the bottom of their feet. And still to this day, people absolutely love the ribbons because that is a cancer support ribbon on the bottom of the purple and the pink ribbons. So there's so many different things that you can do with these things. You just don't have to look at something and say, well, I bought it just because it looked like this. Right. You can buy it because it looks like this because you took the time and requested it to be worked on by these two wonderful people. And I will say they're wonderful. And it's not just because I know exactly where my trailer is. It's because they're wonderful people. And you know what? That thing is absolutely the biggest billboard going down the interstate for us.
Yes, it
and
is.
We just
so cool stuff like, where's it at? Oh, it's not ours. It's our friends. It's in Botkin, Indiana.
Ohio.
Botkin's,
Ohio,
Indiana. Okay.
Oh my God. Botkin, Ohio.
It's been a long day. What can I say?
Your village is so small that they can just uproot it and put it wherever they want to, Pyle.
Oh boy.
They just load it on a flatbed and Pyle lives in Indiana now. The whole city of Botkins is now in Indiana.
Yep. And someone
Ohio
said it.
Here we could have been in Indiana.
I live in a village.
Someone said it, so I have to put it behind me. I live in a village.
Yeah.
Every time someone says the word village, I change that to I live in a village because for some reason everybody believes that this is exactly what the community of Botkins looks like.
Is it like the M. Night Shyamalan village?
No, we don't talk about that village.
But no,
They carry pitchforks.
Yes.
Pitchforks, torches, spears.
And he's even got podcast headphones on.
Oh God.
But I'm just, when we were starting this show up, I thought to myself, man, we need to get vendors. And if we get vendors, people can see what these vendors are doing. And they don't just have to look at the vendors for the haunted industry. They can look at these vendors for Christmas also, because some of the haunts do Christmas. And I know that you guys have happy little elves that you guys 3D print keychains because you still got a couple from this last Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys do 3D printing dragons too. Now my curiosity has a good question here. How big of a dragon can you guys actually make?
In one go, 4.5 feet long. It's almost as tall as and a couple and if I print, I can even go even bigger if I print in multiple sections. You're talking probably near to 10 to 12 feet long if I do it in 3-4 sections.
Can you make a large size Smaug?
It may take a while, but yeah. The biggest limit with 3D printing is time and money. You know, how much time to have and how much money for this product. So, you know.
You guys need to do like your own version of pop vinyls for haunters.
Ooh.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That'd be super cool.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, Matt, when you get back, guess what we're working on?
Or for networks, you know.
You scan your head and put you on a pop.
Oh no, we're doing
we're doing a Pyle Hazard Funko Pop. You put your head right on.
Oh yeah. I need to get one made for all my personalities, like the Beetlejuice me, the Amish me, the vacation me, just all these different things that I talk about all the time.
It'll look like the mayor from Halloween Town.
Your pop figure would have 3 heads wrapping around.
Interchangeable heads, you know. It was whatever mood I am today. That's what's there, you know. But you know,
or you could have, or yours could have like a little head, and the other heads just snap on, and they are
Like a Russian
replaceable.
nesting doll, but with my head.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. As it gets bigger, Raz's head gets bigger.
Cerberus Raz.
There you
Uh,
I'm just wondering if they could like 3D print an actual car, like a full-size car, like made out of PLA with that TPU stuff for the tires.
go. Yeah, and get in one wreck and see how that goes.
They do
Yeah.
this.
It might be better than those little minis, those smart
That's
cars.
probably true. Yeah. That's
Or make one of the little Flintstone cars that you can like pedal with your feet around MHC.
Gosh, that's
So-
great.
that'd be awesome. A pirate ship version, man.
Right? That you can pedal
Yeah.
and like ride it around MHC. That'd be awesome.
what shows have you done, and what shows are you going to be at this year?
This year we started off with Transworld, and we went to Whorehound. We're now at Fair Expo. We have MHC. Will be CreepyCon, and then we have
Scarefest.
Whorehound again, and then we have Scarefest. We were looking at maybe looking at going to Midsummer just for fun and not vending because it's all in California. We haven't quite figured out how to get our product out that far yet. Maybe in the next 2 years we'll figure out that, because I'd love to add the Texas Haunter. I'd love to add. We really looked at trying to go to East Coast this one. We didn't know if we had enough energy. We're gonna need to recover a little bit with so many shows right away, but just depends how this one goes. Maybe we'll show up there if they've got some booths still available. So we'll see. We've got a lot of good feedback from all these shows, and it's just great. And we want to make sure that we leave enough space to get all of our orders completed before we go to another show to get everything out. So we'll be working on a few orders we have left from Transworld and orders from this show. Get those out before we take any more at the next one.
So we are almost at the middle point here, and what we do at the middle point is we play these wonderful commercials, and as no one can see me behind the commercials, I will start dancing. But when we get back, are you guys going to be here, or are you guys going to get ready for tomorrow?
We have kidnapped you for a whole hour so far.
I don't know.
I did not catch that.
Me
Nope.
neither.
Their internet. It's their net. They might have frozen.
2 other people with us in another show.
We're back.
What was that?
Yeah, you froze that whole time, so we didn't hear any of it.
Oh gosh, I was thinking
It was a
that we
lovely
might have
shot,
to just actually check out on you so we can get some stuff done for the next show, and maybe come back and especially when we have some of our winter stuff out to show you for some of the Christmas shows that we're gonna have. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what we can do is we'll ask you the question we asked all the guests at the end of our time with them. Go ahead, Pop.
So, where can we find you?
you can online. We're with our website.
You can find us at our website at wickedfx.com. That's WIKEDFX.com. We're also at Building 11 in Trailers World if you're in the Ohio area. And we're local here in Hamilton. Right now in Hamilton, but we're local in Hamilton, Ohio. Or you can see us at all the shows we'll be in.
We have a Facebook as well. I don't sell on Facebook or Etsy, but we do have a Facebook. We only sell through our official site, so we can take almost any type of form of payment, any type of credit card, and it's secure. There's no other fees. That's one of the reasons we try really hard to keep our prices down, so we don't sell on this other platform who charges fees. So
yeah, Etsy takes like 15%, so we try not to sell them there because of the fees.
I've now spammed the website, so all of our social medias, you guys are paying attention to this show, you can go click on it for yourself right now.
Wonderful. So it has been a wonderful pleasure for you guys to actually be on the show. I was so excited when you guys said yes, and I've been looking forward to this so much, having you guys on here, because I absolutely love your stuff, and whenever I can, I promote your guys' stuff. I share it everywhere because I think it is such a great product. It is not just 3D printing. There's a lot more to Wicked FX than what you would think right off the bat. When you see FX, a lot of people just think of small little effects here and there. There is so much more. So we thank you, and we're going to go commercial, and we will see you guys in the future, I do hope, just to get an update from you guys.
All right, we're going to head commercial, and we'll see you guys when we get back.
Greetings and shabibans. We are the Retro Reductibus Cephala Podcast, a long-form bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
Well, that sounds good, but I don't know what all those words mean.
I think what Parasite Steve's trying to say is that on Retro Reductibus, we explore a range of retro goodness, from toys, video games, and movies, to cartoons, and even snacks and school lunches.
Oh.
And we do it all with a positive spin, a slew of killer guests, and some very adult language.
And you know what else is cool?
No.
This crazy show is part of the Dorking Podcast Network with new episodes every Tentacle Tuesday.
What's that?
And if waiting 2 weeks for a new episode gives you a sad, know that we drop bonus episodes all the time, like the off-format Crow's Nest and an interview series we call The Bridge.
You can listen to Retro Reductibus on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or any app that's cool enough to carry the only show that celebrates all the things that make growing up awesome.
Hell yeah. That was an amazing interview. Always love Wendy and Matt over at Wicked FX, man. Just super amazing people.
Yeah, I haven't seen Wendy in a while. So it's good that they've got Wicked Effects and they seem to be doing really well with it.
Oh yeah,
products seem pretty solid. So yeah,
I'm even slowly working with them on a secret project involving writing. That I'm excited to talk about way later from now, because it's gonna be like a Christmas thing.
So absolutely, they are wonderful people, and I could not thank them enough for coming on to the show, showing people what they do, especially with their crazy schedule they got going on right now. I just got a message from them saying thank you very much for having us on. So we honestly don't thank us. We thank you.
Yeah.
We thank anybody that comes on the show, because what it boils down to on this show is everybody in the haunt industry. We want to get to know them, and we want to know why they do what they do and what do they do, because there's a lot of things to think about in the haunted industry.
Yeah.
And if you happen to be one of the people that got stuck with me over this last weekend, I surely apologize every single time, because when you say, oh, well, what do you do other than this? Well, let me just get the scroll out and watch it shoot down the road. And that was exactly true, because I had some extra keychains and I handed some out, and people wanted to know more about it. And we went from talking about this little keychain to my haunt, to the wonderful Allight Network, to Chainer's Haunted Secrets, to why I do everything I do. And I said, honestly, if it wasn't for all the great people in this industry, in this network, I wouldn't be doing this. I would be like, I could go to sleep at any time.
Right.
And That's one of the things. I don't get a lot of sleep, and anybody that really knows me outside of all this, they will absolutely we have yeah, they just sent me a message how they wish it would have been able to stay for the whole 2 hours, but there is no way, and I don't blame them. Oh my gosh, I don't blame them.
They got so much product and stuff that they've got to work on to be ready for tomorrow. I mean,
Yeah, being out on the road.
They've probably been going for hours and hours and hours already today. Yeah.
Anybody that has
got to prioritize, man. You got to prioritize.
Yeah.
What's that word? I just get done telling everything I do in here. Prioritize. Nope. Don't even know how to say that word proper.
It's a special time for
prioritize.
It's a special time right now for Ohio haunts, and I know a lot of haunts in a lot of other places as well, because a lot of haunts are starting to get together, talk about designs. Hell, a lot of haunts are already posting their hiring dates. I know ours are going to get posted in the next week or so. Like, it's crazy because this is the time of year where we, get back to work in the near future.
Yeah, right. Backwards has posted theirs.
I saw theirs.
Well, they're doing a sewing day coming up on April 20th to, start working on fixing all of their costumes and everything, and maybe making some new costumes and whatnot. And then they've got their audition days on May 18th, which I won't be able to make that one because that's also the same day as the Buckeye Lake Pirate Fest. Right. And then I think the next one is June 15th or 17th, somewhere around there.
Now, do you guys
that weekend of June 15th, I believe, would be the next one.
Now, do you have to re-audition for them every year?
I did ask him about that because I've been working there since 2020 now. I actually did go and audition last year, even though I'd already been acting there for 3 years. So I did go last year, and I did the audition, not because I felt like I needed to audition or I wanted to audition, but just because I thought that it would be really fun.
Yeah.
Once you've been haunting for a while and you guest act at other haunts, you don't really get the opportunity to do auditions much anymore.
Wow.
No. So, and it's not something that you think about because you think about, well, I did it when I first started haunting. I had to audition for the Spiritorium, and then you never really audition after that. So, like, if I wanted to go anywhere else in the United States or act at another haunt that's outside of Ohio, they don't know anything about me. They have never seen me act. They might want me to audition, but how often is that going to happen? I've got a home haunt at Backwoods Oddities. So I just thought I'd take this opportunity to audition just, for the hell of it, just to see if my audition would be any better than the lackluster performance that I gave when I first auditioned for the Spiritorium back in 2000, what was it, 12? Yeah, 2012.
It's also camaraderie too, though, because you're there and you're auditioning with other people. You know what I mean?
And the people that you're auditioning for too, because they've already seen the act at that point. And then it's just a matter of what can I come up with something new that they haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
And we were fortunately in a position that that was kind of the case because one of our scenes was changing from our hillbilly scene to clown funeral.
Right.
So same kind of setup. It's just redecorated. They did a really good job of redecorating it, I have to say. And so the acting kind of changed in it slightly. Still the same people that are acting in it, but they took it upon themselves to redecorate the whole scene and come up with the whole storyline. So when I went for the audition and I asked him, what are the changes? And she says, well, we're doing clown funeral. I said, okay, give me some background on that. What's the story? She says, well, we've been kind of intentionally vague about that just to see what people would come up with. So I went into, my God, like a 5-10 minute, just off the top of my head, improvising spiel about there's a land dispute between the rednecks and the clowns on who should actually have control of the land. And erupted into a feud where one of the clowns got killed, and this is what's causing the clown funeral. And they're so afraid that the rednecks are going to show up at their funeral and cause problems for them. I can't even remember what all I said in the audition, but it had something to do with like eminent domain.
So we did something similar, but it was involving a wedding where one of the clowns and one of the Firewoods went off and got married, and both factions went to war, and we had a whole versus event one year at the Han that was literally Firewoods versus the clowns, with the asylum and the main street kind of like picking sides at random. And so we went in and shook everything up, so you'd find characters everywhere in spots that they weren't normally at to act with different people to kind of convey the story of the battle. And that was an insanely planned evening that went very well, but it was a lot of freaking work.
Oh, and I created an entirely new character during that audition as well. I think maybe Tater might have inspired it a little bit with his granny character. For those that know Tater and his granny character, but I came up off the top of my head. I came up with this whole spiel about Granny Dahmer, or Jeffrey Dahmer's grandmother was teaching Jeffrey all of these recipes, but he got carried away. And that's
the
devil. Oh my God.
What didn't you do?
I was about ready to send him a message and
you
tell
don't even
him,
know me, and I know stories about you, sir.
Absolutely just tell him, hey, somebody spoke your name. And here he is, the myth, the legend, the Tater.
Oh, that's amazing. Wow. I lost my train of thought now. I'm flabbergasted.
So do you guys have any design changes coming up? I mean, you don't have to talk about them specifically, Pyle, but like, are you guys thinking about like changing some things up?
We are absolutely going to break into the center of our woods.
100% true.
We have went through the outside. We've twisted it here and there, and we know that there is one area that we cannot build because it actually just holds water.
Yeah.
Well, we figured it out. We mapped it out. We know what's going on, and our Field of Screams is going to get 50% bigger.
Wow, dude, that's
Nice.
huge. That's
it's
huge, man.
Yes, there's different zone or different areas that's going to be built into it. We've pretty much figured out exactly, and the two lovely ladies that we had on the show earlier have already said that they do want to come up and they do want to work in one of those new areas, and they want to decorate it.
Very awesome, man.
So we don't know if that is going to be them working on the cryptid, or if they are going to come up and if you haven't noticed, Wendy loves mushrooms. So
yes.
I don't know
I
if
love
she
mushrooms
is going
too,
to make,
but
I don't yeah. Okay. Well, this is a little
those are different mushrooms.
I feel like she might make a area that has a mushroom design to it. I don't know. I've looked at her and said, well, you tell me what you need and we'll start doing what we can. And she said, oh, you don't worry about it, because as soon as we get up there, this is what we want to work on and we want to do this and that. Okay. So those two, the way I'm understanding it, those two are going to come and they're going to meet at our Field of Screams, and they are going to work on decorating it, doing whatever. It's not 100% guaranteed because she's got a hectic schedule. But I do want to say that Matt is actually working on something for me with a terrarium and Frogman.
Oh, I love it. He's gonna have a wand, right?
No, there's not going to be a wand because
Kyle, you gotta give him the wand.
That's how he's captured. He lost his wand and he's now stuck in this little terrarium.
You could sell Frogman wands. A concession. Like, this is a copy of the one we stole from Frogman. Taunt him with it when you go through.
Oh my gosh.
I first met Wendy working at the Scaratorium. I think Kelly Collins brought her in along with another guy named George Simpson at the time. Both of them were prop designers and Wendy being a makeup artist and all of that. And for the life of me, I mean, because Wendy was there with us for quite a while. And that was when we moved into the Cleveland Avenue location here in Columbus, and we built the haunt from the ground up. So we had free reign and creative license to do what we wanted with it. And one of the sections that we did was this massive freak show area and within the fun house. And for the life of me, I can't remember. We had this giant Venus flytrap animatronic, and I mean, this thing was it could have rivaled what was the name of the one from Rocky?
Audrey too.
Audrey, yeah. I wanted to say
Yeah.
This thing was this huge Venus flytrap animatronic, and for the life of me, I can't remember if it was Wendy that helped create that, or if it was Harry Siebert, or if it was a combination of both, and just like maybe a lot of people worked on it. But I think that she had a hand in helping build that Venus flytrap. But I know that, I mean, she was instrumental in like a lot of the scene creation that we did back then at the Scaratorium. And honestly, that was, I think those were some of the best years of haunting that I had when we built that haunt from the ground up. Just a lot of really unique creative scenes that I hadn't seen in other haunts as well. Kelly Collins, the owner of Scaratorium at the time, he had this general rule of thumb philosophy that you should change at least 30% of your haunt from year to year.
Yep.
So you always give the customers something new to look at. You know, because you always get people to come in, they
The refresh.
year
We
after
call it the
year,
refresh.
yeah, and they memorize the haunt, they know where everything is, they know where all the scare points are. But if you change your haunt by at least 30%, it's always a different experience for them, which is what keeps them coming back year after year, because they want to see what changes you made, you know, and things like that. So I still hold to that. Backwoods is an outdoor haunt. Our trail is our trail. It's fixed. We can't really reroute it too much through the woods. I mean, not without doing a shit ton of clear cutting and moving a lot of trees and everything out of the way. I mean, you get what you get as far as the trail goes. But, you know, we can change some of the scenes on that trail from year to year. So, you know, you always have something just slightly different. And Clown Funeral was one of those changes that we made. I think it'll be returning this year. But I do not know at this point what some of the other changes are going to be.
Right. I know technically we are increasing a little bit of length because we're rerouting a couple things. We're switching a lot of things up, an all new like starter show. Plus, you know, we've got the Nerf arena now going into the building that you can like play like during the off season, but also during the season. We're
cool.
going queueless. Like the whole building itself is getting like a 60-70% switch up.
Mm-hmm.
Inside of the haunt, I'd say roughly about a 30-35% complete change. Got a lot of new scenes going in, a lot of old scenes getting retired, a lot of old props getting retired, all new, like a lot of all new costumes and stuff for a lot of things as well. So this is our biggest change. We thought it was going to be last year, but this year turns out to be our 5th year biggest change.
Well,
and I know Fred's coming on soon to talk about it, so I don't want to say too much more than that.
Right.
That's right. That's
Don't give away
right.
all the secrets.
I do
When is
believe,
Fred coming on?
Well, I do believe he's in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, yesterday was Fred's birthday, actually.
Happy birthday, Fred.
I sent Fred for his birthday. Hi Fred, wish you were here.
I stayed up all night and I was so busy working on shit that I didn't realize what day it was. And today I looked at the calendar. I'm like, oh fuck. So I messaged Fred and I'm like, I'm still awake, so technically it's still your birthday. Happy birthday.
So I will tell you that Fred is going to be on here in 2 weeks. I'm excited about that. We are going to do everything in our holy power to make sure that he remembers.
Trust me, I'll be on it.
Fred is a 10-second Tom.
I'm the
Love
Fred
him
Wrangler.
to pieces, but he is a 10-second Tom.
Yeah.
I will tell you that Chainers Field of Screams, the way that it operates is before we put anything in that field to begin with, the trees were in there, and the trees were, and if my dad's watching, he can absolutely tell me I am incorrect, but I think that they were 8 feet apart by 8 feet apart. So you'd have an 8-foot square.
Yeah.
And 4 trees. And that's how it was designed, because Chainers Field of Screams was my sister's 4-H project back when she was younger. She planted all these trees on the property. As they got bigger, some of them passed away and some of them start having little tree children. And the ice storm that we received back probably about 10 years ago plus just devastated a lot of the trees. But we still have that 8x8. And that means that we can actually take 8x8 and switch our area, because we don't tear down trees. We just add them or move them around.
Are you talking about the ice storm of 05?
Was it 05?
Buddy, yes. It was so bad.
No.
Dude, it was the worst ice storm since 1970 something or other. I'm trying to remember here. 1978 was the worst storm in history until the one in 2005 happened.
Yeah, I guess it was that far back. Gee, criminy.
Yeah, that ripped power lines off my home at the time. Like, it was bad. It was dangerous. I lived in the middle of the city, and it was dangerous. And it was even worse in non-city areas.
In 2005?
Yep, 2005.
So
where was I in 2000? I was living in St. Pete, Florida in 2005. Tree children would be a very scary idea, and someone should run with this. I want to scare some tormenting tree children. Yeah, we could do
that. So recently, I had the opportunity. I got brought into a Facebook Live. And when I was in this Facebook Live with Matt Brill, I think is his name. How you say his name? He had me on there for an hour, and I told him, I said, well, this is a short one versus what we do. And I was just so happy because he's got so many Facebook followers that they start following me. And the person that just made the comment just in that second, that would be one of the people that start following me from that. And I hope we're as entertaining as Matt's show is. But I do want to say that I was really grateful because me and him are going to be able to meet each other in person at Midwest Hunters Convention. I now have people that are springing or kind of telling me I need to go to the East Coast one of these years, and it is on my to-do list. Probably next year I will show up at East Coast, which is in Philadelphia this year. I think it's going to be one of those things that they stay in Philadelphia for a little while. I don't know nothing about Philadelphia, but I've been told, hey, it can be a scary town just because it's Philadelphia.
Is Midwest back in Chicago this year, or Rosemont,
yes,
or where the hell it is?
Yes,
outside Chicago. I don't know.
It's on the outskirt of Chicago. It's still considered Chicago, but it's O'Hara, near the O'Hare airport.
O'Hare, yeah.
And
okay.
We're being
there's
watched.
a bell.
I love it how she jumps in here and just says,
random.
I'm judging you.
Is it the battery?
Oh man, I was looking on my phone earlier today because I had taken a picture of my recliner that reminded me so much of that killer sofa picture. I was going to post it, but then I went back to my phone and I could not find the
This
picture
picture?
anymore. I had a sad.
You had a sad.
I had a sad.
Oh shit!
But I will say
I'm
that
going to post it though.
I will say that I'm really grateful that we're starting to get a really good following. Please, everybody, if you like what we are doing here, let us know what you guys want to see. Comment with us, talk to us. We have the magical Tater that I do believe that TaterCon is right around the corner for him. So yeah, I do believe so.
Yes, super secret
squirrel support. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh!
All right, Amina. Super
Oh
secret
my gosh.
squirrel. There's a cartoon I haven't heard about in forever.
Secret squirrel.
I swear, everything. I'm starting to get a lot of pictures that every single time someone says something about a squirrel, we put this up.
Wait, was that Rudolph?
No, it's not Rudolph, buddy.
Okay.
That's not
I
part.
don't know.
But me going back to what I was saying, because the squirrel will catch us, and
we
then-
scored
then
out there
we'll-
for a second.
then we'll have a utter disaster. But we want to hear from you guys, see what you guys are thinking. Where, even if we don't have a guest on the show, we still want to hear what you guys are thinking. Where are you guys from? What haunts you guys are from? Because it might be that you guys actually, one of these years, one of these days, one of these weeks, whatever, get to be on the show with us. Because I already told Raz, I guarantee we're going to have a show episode called Clowning Around, and we want you and your butt.
I know, man. I keep forgetting I can change my voice.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Do an episode with that the entire time.
What, with this one?
Yeah.
You're listening to the super smooth sounds of the Outlight Network. Oh, yeah.
Dude, you made me think of Super Troopers.
Yeah.
When it says, yeah, your department doesn't have one of these, right?
I do stupid things with this thing. There's still so many buttons I don't know what they do. So I'm afraid to touch buttons sometimes.
You can give me one of those.
This is a fun one. This was not an expensive one at all, man.
I'll see what they have at the pawn shop. What?
So
you're trembling. Come here.
Yeah, I am really excited about haunt season this year, man. It's my 30th, so it's extra special for me. And our season starts right around my birthday, like it does pretty much every year, which is always nice for me. I think we're opening on the 13th, but we're having conversations otherwise right now as well. But it looks like we're going to open on the 13th along with most other people. And being able to start the season on a Friday the 13th just feels right to me. It's been a while since I can say, I participated in a haunt that started, on a Friday the 13th. So,
well, it's kind of interesting because usually you guys open on a Saturday, don't you?
okay, so usually what we do is Friday nights is our friends and family night, where we invite all our friends in the industry and family to come down and check us out, give us feedback, so we can have our official big opening night on the Saturday. But with it being Friday the 13th, we decided the weekend before we're going to do a smaller friends and family event, like a little earlier, since we're indoors and it doesn't really matter, to make it kind of easier for people, like a late afternoon, early evening kind of a Saturday thing.
Right.
So that's what we're planning right now, to kind of make it a little bit easier. And honestly, I would much rather do it a full weekend before with the family and friends, because that gives me more time to fine tune things for opening night.
That's in September. There's Friday the 13th in September.
Yep. Most haunts are opening on Friday the 13th this year.
Sweet.
Well, the ones that open in September, not all haunts open in September.
No. And in fact, some haunts open the first weekend of September.
Actually, some haunts open the last weekend of August.
Ooh.
Usually,
I don't know what we're doing this year yet. I don't think we've posted our dates of when we're actually opening.
Oh wait, hold on a second. Justin, he would love this, so hopefully he sees this for live or can watch it later. Definitely pique my interest. Love to talk about continually changing the haunt for repeat offenders. We appreciate these Easter eggs. We talk about it for a while after. Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
The best haunts are always adding, new little things, or I know like we'll have certain props that we like immortalize and that just don't function how we want them to anymore, or like either broken animatronics or something. We will find a way to work into scenes, and I know that's something that Mia talked a lot about as well. Like she's got a lot of things over at Carnage, just little nods if you kind of catch them to different phases of their life as a haunt, and I think that's something that a lot of haunts do. Kind of commemorate, where we've come, where we've gone. Like we had a wall last year. We were asking. Sorry, I can't talk today. Asking everyone who worked there, who'd ever worked there, that were coming through as guests or anything, to come and sign this wall. Unfortunately, the word of the wall did not get around like we wanted, and we're going to have to paint over it this year for a new project. But we have this giant security path that cuts through the very center of the entire haunt, and this year that's going to be our memory wall, where we let people go and write messages to each other, their names, their characters, different cool stuff like that.
Was here.
Yeah, basically. So it's going to be like our memory tunnel / security path, basically.
Can you paint a little spot on that new wall, and I'll take some grandpa and just throw him on the wall?
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. I'd love that.
I mean, I can't wait to see Chainers open. I can't wait to see all the smiling kids coming out, getting all the stuff ready. I know my chainsaw is ready to make someone regret their decision again, along with my wonderful pliers that I tell people I'm going to rip out their piercings out of their face. I just can't wait for that feeling. But the thing is,
just can't wait.
I am also a haunt owner, so I have to do all the things I don't want to do because I want to go play, and I've got to double check everything.
Like I want to come down there and hunt with you guys, but like I can't because.
Right.
I can't.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because in the auditions that Backwards posted recently, they said that they're also looking for 3 positions for zone leaders. Yeah. And I mean, you guys know how zone leaders work. And I've been haunting long enough. I have been zone leader before for a Scaratorium, and also did it a little bit for when we did the Miller Building out in Lancaster. Right. And I'm sure that if they really wanted me to, I could do it for Backwoods as well. But I'm also looking at it like
you can't travel. I mean, like, honestly, like that's the thing. Like once you get into zone lead and they're up into management, you're there. You can't, you don't get to take the night off to go to, work with another haunt. And that's something I miss because I don't even really get to go to haunts that much. Cool thing with
I enjoy the acting and I enjoy the entertaining people, and I feel like, if I have to carry around a radio and then deal with drunk people that are coming through and possibly tell them that they have to leave, and then yuck somebody's yum or keep them from having a good night, it would just ruin my night. I feel like, I don't know, it seems like it would take some of the enjoyment out of it for me. That
I think that depends on how they do it, on how they do their zone. Like the way we do our section leads, which is the same thing, zone lead, section lead. It works very differently, so it doesn't really break them out of character. But they have the ability to immediately contact one of us through our secret paths, and then we actually handle the problem. They notify us, they keep the areas clean, they make sure people to get the bathroom breaks they need. But when it comes to that stuff, they just alert us and we go. That way they're not missing the next group, they're not having to break character. But it just depends. Everybody does it differently, and it's easier for us to do it that way because of the way we're built. It's not always easier for, especially outdoor haunts and other build structures, to do that with. But Christy said something I want to bring up. Said that's amazing. Love seeing fellow haunters loving what they do and incorporating guests as a family. To me, that's what this is, man. Like if you're a haunter, we're all family. If you're a guest that loves haunts and you're coming through, you're our family too. And I think when you stop looking at it like that, you're probably going to lose your love of the industry, very quickly. It's that family that keeps you going every night, whether you're in the haunt or waiting for haunt season to start.
Right. And I will say I could not be happier with what we call the cousins. We love going out and visiting our cousins. And as soon as we get a rain day, it is, are we going to the cousins in the north or are we going to the cousins in the south?
Yep.
And we could
You
even
should
go
be coming
visit
to the cousins down in Waverly because even if it rains, we're still acting. We're an outdoor haunt, but it ain't gonna stop us.
Yep.
Don't wear white shoes.
We might actually if we get a rain night and we see someone else is open, we just might go in the creeper van to go visit another haunt just to go through the haunt.
Mm-hmm.
It has been very, very, very outspoken to me by all of the chainers that they want to go and find a couple haunts during Sunday and all load up in the van and go.
Yeah.
I have no problem with this.
If you come any Sunday haunts anywhere near me, I will join you, my friend.
I would love to.
I know some Thursday haunts too.
See, and that's a possibility too. But I wanted to make it very clear to every single one of them that if it goes and it affects anything outside of the field, then you're not going to be able to do this. Yep. I need to be responsible and tell them, hey, this is not working for this to work.
Right.
And that's where I got to put on my unhappy face, and I got plenty of smileys, but I don't have an angry smiley.
Why haven't you guys joined the Dungeon Outreach program yet, man?
What you
mean? I needed to ask you that. That's the one we got going on with Face Your Fears in Springfield and Carnage in Columbus, where it's our version of our own like outreach / industry night that's between us.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Any haunt can join it. Where like you open up during like a day of the week at night and let all the other haunts come through. And then other haunts do it for you.
We actually did that one year.
Not with us.
Yeah, we did. So
you gotta do it.
Yeah, I did. Yes, I did. Because Fred was there.
No, but only management went. It wasn't open to all of us.
Right.
At the time I wasn't management.
Right. It was 6 people out of each haunt that was able to go.
Yep.
And the reason that we did that is because we needed to make sure that we got everybody booked through.
Yeah.
And we made sure that we had dinner available for everybody that made it in them 6.
Nice.
And that was also Carnage, Hell's Dungeon. Fred was there. And that's where Fred found out that you could deep fry pizza rolls.
Yeah.
By the way, do you remember what next Saturday is? Because April's making meatballs.
What next Saturday is?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know next Saturday is. That's the dinner.
Yeah.
That we're coming to 100%.
April is going to make the meatballs.
I'm gonna have April's balls in my mouth.
Yep. I told her. I said, Raz requests meatballs, and she goes, "Well, you can make them." I said,
"Nope."
He doesn't want mine. He wants yours.
And she's got to bring me some chip dip too. I'll bring her some chip dip.
But it's got to be the Kroger's brand chip dip.
Yep.
Anyway, but yeah, we did that. We did Haunted Town Hall, and those were the ones that kind of helped us really go. And I invited a couple or one person from Brimstone, and he did not show up, and it was okay.
Yeah. Well, my point is, like, you need to get back in with us, for this year, because we're trying to expand it and get, our own people and everyone else's people the chance to actually see more haunts operating, teach them more about how the haunts work in other locations, other environments. And we're looking to expand big time. And I know there's already a couple people he's trying to talk to again this year about expanding. There's even talk about maybe the caves, but like that's a whole conversation we had right now.
Yeah. I think I got a request in for the caves.
Yeah, they're amazing.
For the management. I know last time I looked at the caves or anything like that was actually here about less than a month ago when we were possibly looking at bad weather, and I posted that whole thing that said, if you're not understanding where the bad weather is, let's go and do it this way. And I put Haunted Town Hall, Chainer's Field of Screams. They are in a level whatever. And then I put Carnage and a whole bunch of other ones. I said, you guys are in a level 4. I want to be very clear. Tornadoes may destroy your haunt.
Yeah.
Unless you are the haunted cave. You guys are in the clear.
You're good.
Yeah.
They do flood though. Like I've been going since the late 80s, all the way up until 5 years ago. I went every year of my life to that haunt. It was one of the two haunts I went to every fucking year.
Really?
That are still around. And I'm only not going because my commitments changed with the dungeon, so I'm really busy there. But
Right.
it's fucking amazing. But when you go and it's raining, you think, oh, it's underground, it's a cave, it's fine. No, because you have to go down a thing that's like this with ropes and stuff, and that's the line to get in. It's at an angle, and it's a little dangerous going around because it's muddy, it's slippery. There's water coming down this hill, and inside, there's areas where there's water sometimes up to your ankle, and like little spots here and there. Mostly it's dry, but like there's a lot of spots where you're gonna get wet. But then you got to leave through that same thing. So now you're going up at an angle to get out. And if it weren't for the ropes and stuff they put there, you wouldn't make it. You literally at times when it's raining bad, you have to like you're fucking climbing up a weird mountain, like hand over hand on the rope, just going to get yourself out. It's tough to get out of there during the rain. It's worth it. It's fucking worth it, but it's tough to get out.
So I got a question for you, Raz. We ever going to see this wonderful Matt jump in here?
Maybe one of these nights.
Tell him I got $20.
we might be able to con him in when Fred's in.
$20 is $20, right?
Well,
see, my $2.
Brooke had to go in at like stupid o'clock this morning for them to do inventory, and she worked like a stupid amount of hours a day. Like they had to go in at like 5:30 in the morning instead of usually like many hours before usual. So she's exhausted. And then by the time she got off work was around when he was getting off work. So they're having a them evening.
Okay.
Freddy's is tough, because their schedules and stuff. They both work a lot of hours.
Well, we could put her on there too.
I can think of one change that Backwoods is doing this year that will be interesting to see how it plays out.
Oh yeah.
For those who aren't familiar, Backwoods Oddities sounds terrifying. Escape. Okay. For those that aren't familiar, Backwoods Oddities, one night out of the season, they will have what we call Hell Night.
Yep.
Hell Night usually takes place from midnight to 2 a.m. after the haunt is closed. It will open up for about 200 to 250 people that buy tickets in advance, and it's 18 plus. You have to sign a waiver.
Right.
So
that's actually something we've considered in the past too.
It's always packed. It's a lot of fun. It's very popular. The thing with Hell Night, anything goes. And I do mean literally, anything goes. So when you sign that waiver, that's it. You're giving your complete and total permission that anything goes. This year, we are changing that a little bit. And rather than Hell Night being just one night of the season from midnight to 2 a.m., it's going to be the whole night.
Nice.
From open to close. The whole night will be Hell Night, not
That's
just
so cool,
those 2 hours. So this will be interesting. And for me personally, it's going to be a challenge because inevitably, based on historical experiences, Hell Night has consistently been the coldest night of the season. It doesn't matter when you schedule it. It's always the coldest night of the season. And it sucks for me because there's not a lot to my costume. So I'm out there,
100%.
with nipples that'll cut diamonds, freezing my titties off.
Are we talking about
I miss
Inya?
outdoor haunts, man. I miss working outdoor. It gets hot as fuck in the dungeon. Everybody's like, it's hot. It's hell's fucking dungeon. Of course it's hot. Like, that's our theme, man. Leave me alone.
Well, Pyle, to answer your question, it started with Inya and got progressively worse.
So now it's a out of ya.
No, it's more like
It's Inya and
You know
Anya.
what? Speaking of Inya, I have someone that just had a birthday on the 11th. And I had to make sure that I posted a wonderful picture of him and Inya. And he just turned 17, and I'm very proud because I put it straight on his wall, and he did not block it.
Are you talking about Cam?
Yep. Cam turned 17 this year. Raven, Little Poison, she turned 6. And I'm excited because she can't wait until haunt season. She's made it very clear that she wants to be there with the big kids. And she's learning how to control her area. She is ADHD. Go figure. And she actually made a comment about would she be able to take a pill? That way she could be a better actor. And I said, huh? And she goes, yeah. And I was like, well, honey, you're a perfect actor right now. And she goes, but Dad, it helps me focus. And just to have a 6-year-old understand that this little thing is here to help you focus, it's supposed to be for your schoolwork, but she wants to focus on scaring people.
I get it. That's commendable, actually, that, she's already thinking about that, that her ADHD could be a factor in the quality of her acting. So the fact that she's thinking about that and giving it some forethought, that's pretty good.
And
She's a very adult-minded child. She's a genius, in my opinion. Like, the things that she says and comes up with is well beyond her age, man. I'd love to get a chance to help out with some training with her one of these days, man, because she's already got something special going on, big time.
Well, yeah, she wants to chase all your monsters down to the ground.
Yep. Hell yeah, she kicks ass. 1 second, we got some comments here. Sounds like my jam for real. I go anywhere where I have to sign a waiver. May have to make the trip to Ohio. For real, let us know the dates to these events so we can try to plan a group trip. Have you guys, fellow haunters coming down, let us all know any of the haunts that we represent or help out with.
Yeah, most definitely. If you're coming down to Backwoods for Hell Night, you'll have to let me know in advance. I don't have the dates just yet because we haven't posted our dates for the season. So I don't know what the dates for Hell Night's going to be. But if you're going to come down for anything and you have no problem with signing a waiver and anything goes, Hell Night's the place to do it because I can guarantee you're not going to experience anything else like it anywhere else. And for one reason for that is that most haunts during their normal operation hours, they do not allow alcohol. Now, I mean, there are some haunts in bigger cities that they might allow some alcohol, or they actually sell alcohol on premises if they have a license to do so. I've never seen that being an issue. But for Hell Night, since it usually takes place after hours and people are signing waivers, we do allow alcohol for that particular time period. And people will bring, they'll pregame out in the parking lot before they actually come in. And I can honestly say, and I'm usually acting at the time, so I don't see it from the zone leader perspective. Maybe they might have more issues than I'm aware of, but I can honestly say for the Hell Nights that I've done where we have allowed alcohol, it has never once been an issue for me personally. I can't speak for anybody else in the haunt. I can't speak for the zone leaders and the ones that may have to run off the people that are too drunk and whatnot. But most of the time, my experience has been people have been pretty considerate about that, and I think that's just an amazing thing.
Yeah. So also, like I was saying, let us know, because those of us who either manage or run a haunt or work at one, there's no guarantee, but we might be able to help you out with some tickets if you guys are going to make a big Ohio trip. That way, you come for a weekend, you get a chance to go to a number of haunts. You know what I mean? Make your trip worth it, and also
make it worthwhile.
Chip dip. We're talking about
I will say I did go to Terror Town when they did their industry awards. They
always
are
do it literally when we're running. On nights that we're running every time.
They are an extreme haunt, and Terror Town. You pay for the experience, the extreme experience, and you will get a red wristband. And if you're wearing the red wristband, that basically is you giving your full permission for them to do whatever the hell they want to you. And that's a trip. Because now that I've actually seen it in action, I like extreme haunts too, and I like all that stuff. But now that I've seen what Terror Town does, I'm not entirely certain I would actually buy the red wristband if I went back.
I've done it.
It is too cold for that when I go.
Their opening year, I did it twice. One time I may have been on LSD. The other time I wasn't. Both times were fucking absolutely amazing. I got tackled. I mean, listen, when I say I was tackled, I'm saying that their actors weren't big enough to tackle me, so I had to help them. I'm not gonna lie. I did have to help them tackle me to, so I just wanted to make them feel good about what they were doing, but they had a lot of heart. Their scenes were great, but the thing about them is their experience, because it starts the second you walk away from the ticket booth. Like, you've got a whole Wild West town that's been converted into this haunt, that different characters that own the different businesses in town will come out of those buildings and abduct you and do fucked up shit to you, like if you pay for it. And they also have a thing where they have special weekends where it's like the secret society thing you can join and pay extra money to, that it's 10 times more hardcore than their red bracelet, like 10 times more. They even give you a white shirt so you can measure how fucked up you get by the end of the night. It's this thing they do. But Hell Night, actually, there's a couple dozen haunts in Ohio that do Hell Night, believe it or not. And it is one of the biggest attractions across the U.S. Hell Night has been around since the 70s, like all over the country. So like the Hell Nights are a lot of fun, especially for haunts that don't usually do stuff like that. And it's definitely worth checking out, because every haunt does it in their own really cool, unique ways that just makes it. So they're definitely worth it. Except for
one of the things that I saw at Terror Town, and this was very amusing to watch, and I'm sure that it would have been a lot of fun to partake in, but I was not dressed for it. And I'm kind of glad I wasn't wearing the red wristband. But these guys were, and they had paid for the red wristband. So, they were all cool with it and having a good time and laughing and whatnot. But they had one guy, it made him lay down in a mud puddle, and then all of his friends had to pile on top of him, and then they just kind of all rolled him around. And, I mean, it was really fun to watch, but these guys were just like dripping with mud.
Yeah.
And, it was freaking cold outside. And these guys are like in white tank tops covered in mud. And then, they had to go through the rest of the haunt like that.
Oh, yeah.
I was just like, I'd be freezing my ass off if I had to do that. But
we do have a haunt that's like that year round in Ohio as well. And it's over near your neck of the woods, Ron. It's Haunted Hoochie. They are that all the time. And they're also one of the few that's open on Thursdays, and they had discounts on Thursday night. So I tried to go. We finally got to go on a Thursday this past year. Loved it and made some new friends there that I've seen in a couple different haunts and that I talk to now.
Right.
And they're like that all the
year
time.
round, though. I don't think they're open year round.
No, not year round, but they do the Hell Night every night.
Well, they're extreme every night. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're.
I don't think they have a specific Hell Night. They're just extreme all.
Yeah,
around
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're extreme the whole time.
You don't even sign waivers for there. It's explicitly understood. If you're coming to that haunt, you pay your entrance fee. It's extreme.
Yeah, it's listed on the website. It's actually listed on the website. So yeah, you find out everything before you even go. And the stuff they do there it's fucking mind blowing. I mean, yeah, there's nudity, yeah, there's blood, there's a lot of crazy, inappropriate dumb shit. There's suicide. There's anything you can imagine that would bother you or trigger you. It's there times 10. But the way it's done is so quick, like so fast paced and amazing. Like even when you get to that point that something just totally destroys your brain, you don't have time to process it because you're already on to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing, and then you're done and you're just like, what? I actually had an older lady that dressed up as a nun that noticed that I had a cane, and she did something that she doesn't normally do for customers. She actually followed me through. She said to check on me and to keep an eye on me, make sure I was okay. But what she actually did was alerted every single fucking actor as we were going through, and my whole family left me. They got out like minutes before I did because every scene I was getting abducted into and fucked with, a cane and all. Like they took my cane from me. It was amazing though. It was one of the coolest experiences I'd had in a while.
Yeah, Haunted Hoorah. They also did an extreme haunt with the touch pass and all of that before they closed down because of their problems that they had with eminent domain as well. But now they're reopened in a new location in Marion, Ohio, I think it is. And they're getting back to that, doing their extreme haunt with the touch pass and all of that. I haven't experienced the new haunt yet in the new location, but I did go to the old haunt before they were shut down, and I did the touch pass and their extreme haunt back then. That was a lot of fun, which I highly recommend that one too. So,
we got another comment from Christy. I want to throw up really quick before you get going, Pile. I am currently a haunt reviewer in a group called Fright Review Squad for the last 8 years, based out of Pennsylvania. We focus on haunts in our area, but travel at least 2 times a year to longer distance haunts, including New York, Ohio, Massachusetts, Maryland, Vermont, Delaware, North Carolina, and Georgia. You definitely got to come and check out our haunts and come and review us, man. We love reviewers. We just love everybody. So if you're going to come to Ohio again, contact us. Contact me, Pyle, Ron. We'll get you in touch with all of us. One of us will get you in touch with all of us in our haunts. And we'll make sure you guys have a whole weekend worth of awesome hunts to go to. Because
one thing that we could do for Christy, since she's posting here, like Max does, or whoever compiles our list of haunts that are open throughout the season for OHA. Send her that so she'll know how many of the haunts are open, what dates that they're open, because there's a lot of them. So yeah, someone send her those that Max does for the Dayton area, the Cleveland area.
We can absolutely do that. She can also add herself into Ohio Haunters Association. That way she can follow everything. That group is not just for people in Ohio. It supports and gives information about all the haunts in Ohio, but you don't have to be from Ohio to be into it.
No, it's all for the whole Midwest region, just for haunters in general.
And there's also the Chainers Haunted Secrets group.
Whoa.
There's that group as well. It's even closer in touch with people.
Yep.
Hell, the whole network has the Discord. There's a whole channel just based on Chainers Haunted Secrets.
Plug.
Yeah, you got to, man. You can contact us everywhere.
Yeah. Everywhere. I do want to point out, since I know the person that does all the tickets for Chainers Field of Screams.
Oh, you do?
I do. I've talked to myself, and I told myself I think this would be a great idea, and myself said, Well,
I knew
I
it was
don't
me
know
talking because I
about.
recognized my voice.
Well, I don't know if I should be giving away this many tickets, but I'm going to go ahead and say, starting August, we will be giving out Chainer Field of Scream tickets to winners. So
we'll be doing
the
that
way
for
that
Hell's Dungeon as well. Yeah.
the way that we're going to do this is, I think we're going to do it every time you make a comment.
Yeah,
we drawing.
Yeah, well, when we start doing it in August, yeah, we'll have a whole system
Yep.
set up where you'll pop in and there'll be like a hashtag we ask you to put in or something like that, and you'll get entered into a drawing for like free ticket packs. That's how we've done it in the past.
Yep, and as we keep on doing this, I want to make sure that people get tickets out. I will be absolutely filling out the information as soon as I get the information here, because in the beginning of the summer, I will buy envelopes and envelopes and envelopes, and I go and I put stamps on these envelopes, and as soon as I get information, I write it down, and off in the mail it goes.
Yep.
I can be really bad about sending things through the mail once in a while. Have patience. Remind me. Send me a message at Chainers Field of Screams. Hey, did you forget about this? But usually if the envelopes and the tickets are right there, and Matt is going to be printing my tickets for 3 cents a piece. Like as in a sheet.
Yep.
So that is awesome for me to be able to do that. And he's trying to get me a really awesome printer. That way I can do it myself.
Yeah.
Because mine, I believe that I've worked it to death and it said nope. And it committed electricide.
Yeah. I got to get me a printer like that for the haunt, man. For sure.
But so I wanted to make that announcement because we're coming up to the end of the show where we are very thankful that everybody has watched us, stayed tuned with us. I know that I have plugged all this stuff, telling them, hey, if you do not watch the show right now, as soon as you get an opportunity, you can go back and you can watch the show, because our shows just don't disappear. They stay, and you can go to Chainers Field of Screams and watch Chainers Haunted Secrets, or go to Owl Light Network and you can watch all of the shows that Owl Light Network does. What did we say? We did 12 now? 12 shows?
Yep.
We're up to 12 shows on the Owl Light.
We have a 13th but that's an occasional. That's the unboxing show that we only occasionally do when we have enough money to buy boxes for people to open cool things.
I could buy you a box and open it. I don't guarantee it's going to have things in it.
Yeah,
someday I'll come up with an idea for my own show, and then we'll have another one. But I haven't come up with an idea because we've already got everything covered. I mean, what the hell could I host?
You never know, man. The names come up all the time. I always have a million different show ideas. That's why we keep having so many damn shows. And I actually had designed a haunt show when we first started the network on our own, and I couldn't get enough people interested that wanted to host it with me or to do it at all. So it just kind of sat on the back burner until you guys came along, which I was very, very.
The one thing that we don't really have is a music show, because we've got one that does movies and B movies.
Music is also covered under Clutch for interview music, like interviews and stuff. So Clutch does interviews for just creators and artists. That's what Clutch is.
Yeah, but not really. I mean, that's for the creators and the artists and interviewing them and all of that, but not really like introducing new music and talking about local bands or people trying to make it into the scene and where to find their music and all of that.
Yep, that is one thing we don't have. That's true. And we do have the opposite Friday time slots opened up.
Rubber Ducky, you're the one.
We also want to say that the shows will not be live for Chainers Haunted Secrets once we get into haunt season, because we'll be at our haunts at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Right. What?
Yeah. So what we're talking
doing
about
haunts?
No, we're gonna do the shows live as soon as we get home from the haunt that night.
Yeah. So what we're talking about doing right now is pre-recording those shows. That way you guys don't miss us while we're gone.
Yep, we're gonna
And
pre-record them in June, so they'll be out of the
No.
way. We'll stick them in the vault.
so I also want to point out there might be a couple shows through the season that are pre-recorded just because of the time restraint that we have.
Yeah.
But that does not mean that we do not want you guys to really get a hold of us, send us messages, this and that. Remember, when you make a comment on a video, we may not be able to get back to that video and see it in any time.
Afterwards, yeah.
So please get a hold of us on all the platforms that we talk about on here. That way we can go ahead. We want to stay contacted. If you see us during a convention, absolutely give us about 35 feet of space. No, I'm kidding.
No.
Come say hi to us, guys.
Come say hi, get some pictures, some hugs, maybe. I mean, just come hang out, man. You'll find me outside smoking at every convention a lot, so that's an easy place to find.
So one of the things I do in my life is I work at a country music festival. And I've been doing that for 15 years, and I'm actually going to go back this year. I left it, and they want me to come back. I come to find out that, no joke on this, one of my friends sent me a picture of this cowboy hat that had my signature on it. Those guys tricked a whole bunch of campers saying that I was a undercover celebrity. So I was writing pile on their cowboy hats, on their shirts, and whatever. And I've done it for like 2 to 3 years. Well, one of my buddies, his friend's brother passed away, and that hat went to his brother. And he goes, "Hey, you know a whole bunch of signatures. Who in the heck is that?" And he goes, "Where the heck did you come across that?" Sent me the picture. And I said, "Yeah, that's my signature. I could tell you exactly where it was, and I remember that hat, and it's not very often that I write tie hand on it."
Right.
But I did. I wrote pile, and then I put tie hand on the hat. Nice. And it meant a lot of stuff to that person just to have that signature and figure out who in the heck it was. And the person actually contacted my buddy and said, "Do you know this guy does podcast stuff? Like, there's videos of him doing it."
Hell yeah, man.
So I am be reminded that we are at our 2 hour, and I need to shut up.
2 hours went quick, man.
Not a padded seltzer.
Oh my gosh, I am so sorry, but let's do what we do, and we're not very good at it. But Ron, where can we find you at?
I'm right here. Can't you see me? I'm on camera. Where the hell?
Okay, moving on to Raz.
No, I'm still pushing my book here. I'm your pusher, baby. Inside My Nightmares, my first book ever published, and I'm very happy about it. Sales seem to be doing pretty well, so you can find me on my author page on Facebook, Ronald W. Gillespie Jr. author. And when I'm not doing that, sometimes you can find me on TikTok, although I haven't made any content lately. All of that is basically geared toward my other job, which is teaching martial arts. So a lot of my TikTok content is martial arts related. If you're into that kind of thing, I would say go check it out. I am a founder and on the board of directors for a martial arts organization called the International Neoclassical Karate Kabuto Society. So I've been doing a lot with that lately. We've been doing webinars. So I keep myself busy when I'm not actually writing. I did actually have some time tonight, and I put down a lot of story ideas. And at the rate I'm going to have books coming out for the next 20 years with all these story ideas I keep coming up with. So
nice.
It's just a matter of finding time to actually sit down and write,
That's where I'm at right now.
We've got Faycor's publishing Fay Propaganda, which is coming out next month. We've got the Owl Light Menagerie, which is coming out sometime this summer, which is an anthology of authors from the Owlite Network. I've got a story coming out in that. Raz does too. And we've got another anthology coming up in the fall, dealing with monsters. Comes out around haunt season. It's called.
We'll both be in that one.
Nightmare Whiskers. I just
Whispers.
submitted my story for it today, and I am
This early?
very proud of it.
That's early,
I think
man.
it's an amazing story. I absolutely love it, and I can't wait for it to be published in the anthology in the fall. Other than that, I've got a shit ton of stories that I'm still working on just to try to get the next collection and the novel done. So follow the author page if you want to find out more about what I'm writing and how it's going with that.
Hell yeah.
All right. And now for the guy that has the sheep herding hook, Dr. Raz, where can we find you?
Well, you can find me at your mother's house for pancakes every morning. So say hi, pass the syrup. Speaking of books, I got something in the mail recently. The entire Riverside Chronicles series up to date so far, paperback and hardback. That's shipment 1. I'm gearing up to go to a convention, Final Boss Con in Ohio, on May 4th. It's a 1-day con, so I'm going to be up there. And of course, on May 5th, I'll be wandering around checking out Mothman stuff in that area, so you can spot me, somewhere near Mothman that day as well. But yeah, I'm just gearing up, getting some product in. We've got all our banners in, guys. All our banners, which we'll do a video unveiling of here in the near future. I'll get them all put up, and we'll get some good footage. Our business cards are in, and we're this far away from having our official network trading cards, which you guys will also be able to check out. We're all going to get packs. We're going to do multiple series of this. This is just series 1. So each series will feature different members of not just hosts, but our army members going forward in future series. So the 10 of us that are in will get our own packs, and then we'll have 10 other packs up for either sale or giveaways. We'll kind of see how far that goes. But it's been a lot of fun just coming up with weird fucking ideas that we can put our faces and logos on. A lot of fun, and we have a lot more fun involving that to discuss in the near future, I'm sure. But otherwise, find me at rastslasher.com. If you find me anywhere else, you're probably talking to Jenny, because she handles a lot of amazing things for me. She's normally with us tonight, but her internet completely shut out. So when I'm running the show today. But we love you, Jenny, and thank you, and we miss you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, to me, I am Pile Hazard. You can find me on Facebook, Pile Hazard. If you haven't found that already, don't know what you're looking for. You can find me on TikTok, and you can find me on playing shows here on the Owlite Network, as long as my sleep schedule allows me to do it. Because it is going to be fertilizer season, and I don't know when I'm going to be alive. So please, just absolutely, if you have not clicked on our YouTube or Twitch, please go over there, follow us on Facebook, on all the platforms, tell your friends about us, because we have plenty of shows here on the Owlite Network that's not just haunting. It is everything that we can possibly think about putting on. And one of the greatest shows that we do, that we just blow off steam, and I'm hoping that we get one pretty soon. No, it has nothing to do with the couch.
It has to do with my background picture here, kind of.
It's funny you say that, because I just want to remind our listeners who haven't paid attention to our schedule, because we've been posting schedules. Ronnie made that suggestion a while ago, and that's something that Jenny has been actually up on the Facebook.
Right.
And I can tell you that we are doing our Horror Hound wrap-up / padded cell this Sunday at 9 p.m.
Oh, thank goodness. I've been waiting for that.
Yes, we're going to be talking a lot about, what me and Matt went through and experienced at Horror Hound, kind of how it went. I was going to have the wrap-up video done for it, but they're doing the rewind thing this weekend, so if you bought a ticket, you can use your barcode and see any of the panels that you missed, a big selection of the films that played, and a lot of that information. So,
wow.
So we're going to wait until, we're just going to put the video up and talk about it during another show, later on, probably a week after. But we'll at least do our big discussion about it and talk about the rewind and all that. So Really excited
Yeah.
about that, and to do a padded cell in general.
Yeah, absolutely. Padded cell, just you can burn off a whole bunch of fillings. But at this point, I want to tell everybody thank you very much for staying and buckling your seatbelts into this side of the freak show, because it's always a blast having everybody here at Chainer's Haunted Secrets, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Stay frosty.
What the heck?